Hey, what's up? It's a Figure Hunter, and for the video tonight, I want to discuss Whoop's acquisition of Push and the technologies that Push has actually been developing for a long period of time. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing for more. Everything on the Figure Hunter channel and website with it is for the purpose of tracking devices for CrossFit training and high-intensity interval training versus all the running, swimming, biking reviews that are out there. So let's talk about this because I do think this is a significant development, or it could be a significant development depending on how they handle it. So what we're going to talk about in the video tonight is we're going to talk about what technology for workout exertion tracking we have now and overall rep tracking we have now. We're going to look at the Push website to look at what they're basically have already developed and what they have been using with athletes as well as sports teams and the different sort of technologies that they have in place and what it tracks. And then we're going to talk about how it could look over time, like what the final product could possibly look like and the value that it could have for tracking CrossFit training and any other sort of weight-based training functions alongside cardio strain. And then we're going to talk about, what this really does or the potential of what it does. So Whoop purchased Push, and I've done some reviews on the Whoop. You can check the description below for the Whoop review. The Whoop is a great device as far as philosophically how they arrange some of the basics of information. The heart rate accuracy is not good at all on the device itself with worn on the wrist for tracking CrossFit or high intensity interval workout. So if you are interested in Whoop or have a Whoop, you have to wear it on the bicep if you want any kind of accuracy. It's less than 50% accurate when worn on the wrist and doing a CrossFit workout. And actually their heart rate sensor is like 3 years old. So they haven't really updated the hardware on it for a long time. So I'm praying that that's going to come in a future update. But with this purchase of Push, we're going to find out more about it this coming Wednesday on September 8th. They have this like unlimited or unlocked or something like that unveiling, which I think they're going to talk about how they're going to tie these things together. But let's talk first about what we have now when it comes to workout evaluations, when it comes to Whoop's own strain score, and when it comes to Garmin and Coros and Suunto and Polar, what they evaluate now. Because in simple terms, the only thing that's being evaluated now is cardio load. So they're going to take a workout in which you obviously want to wear a chest drive if you're doing CrossFit, where you see your heart rate zones, how much time you spent in the peak 5 zone was 90 to 100% of your max heart rate, how much time you spent in the 4, 3, 2, 1, how much time you spent in those zones over a period of time, and how does that compare with how much you can cardiovascularly handle based on your fitness regimen of the past 7 days and 28 days, depending on which metric each of those devices might track, how much this current workout and the exertion level of it from a heart rate evaluation compares to previous exertion levels from a heart rate evaluation of other times and other workouts over a prolonged period of time. And it evaluates, how much your current workout is pushing your previously established fitness level. But all the previously established fitness level and workout exertion scores, like if you're looking at training load or EPOC, are all based on cardiovascular strain. So how much time you spent in peak and challenging heart rate zones versus what your body is capable of already. It's looking at how much cardiovascular strain you put on your heart, but there is no evaluation for muscular strain. So if you look at what the accelerometer and gyroscope and all the devices now, and that's all Push uses, an accelerometer, gyroscope, and maybe some other type of sensor that tracks speed at which something is moving and the velocity, and we'll talk about that in a second. But Garmin takes advantage of the accelerometer and gyroscope. Coros takes advantage of it in their strength training. So if you wanted to enter a workout and you wanted to count your reps, you can program in what exercise movement you're going to do, and you can say start on your watch, and you can count your reps, and it gets it, I'd say, like 80% right. Coros doesn't quite effectively accomplish the use of it because it doesn't give you any training effect and load evaluation from their strength training profile, but Garmin does. Garmin will allow you to load in 1 billion different exercises, but none of them evaluate the workload over time as it relates to that same cardio strain. None of them evaluate the muscular strain you just put yourself under. So you think about that. all of the watches and all the strain scores are based on cardiovascular strain. Well, what if we could look at the muscular strain for how much weight you physically lifted and how fast you moved it over a period of time? And then what if we could see other things about it, like how your speed and efficiency in a specific movement at a specific weight compares to previous times that you moved that weight in that same movement, and how efficient you were at those times, to be able to evaluate, whether your improvement, or even be able to evaluate your overall strain on your body or your need for recovery because your muscular system is not quite up to par or not quite peaking. So let's look at what Push offers now in their website, in their fundamental aspect. We'll look at a silly little video. Let's talk about some of the sort of information we can get about workload from a workout itself. I like to look at the Beyond the Whiteboard because it gives a simple summary of it, and then talk about what it could mean for future evaluations. So let's look at the Push website and overview. Okay, so you can see the simple announcement. Whoop and Push joined forces. And then if you continue to the Push website, it really is a really neat concept. Now these devices, and you could just sort of see a picture of it somewhere along here. So this is all they have a website, and the website's unique because you can track multiple athletes if you're doing a team-based training, and you can send workouts to your athlete and you can see their output for each workout. But they basically are summarized by this band. And the band actually doesn't have any kind of heart rate sensor. It just has the accelerometer, gyroscope, and but it's tracking the movement and the speed. And then you go into the website and you enter the weight and you get workload over time and the speed for that workload. So you obviously 500 exercises, and then you have the app. And the app can show you like your repetitions and your power output per repetition based on the weight you moved and the speed you moved it, the velocity, and you can see declines in velocity. And just begin to think sort of philosophically about like what this could show us in a CrossFit training or high intensity interval training when you see declines in velocity or efficiency of moving a barbell or moving an aspect. We'll look at the other piece because there's just one aspect that I like to look at, how they summarize what they provide. So this is a tidbit we'll just stop on, but you can preload workouts. And so again, I think, well, Beyond the Whiteboard is one simple way where you have preloaded workouts, whether it's the CrossFit.com workout of the day or the Rogue Challenge or some of the open workouts are all preloaded on Beyond the Whiteboard. And when you enter your scores, you see your workload, and also you see comparison to other CrossFitters in your age group and in just across the world, how your overall efficiency was in completing a workout versus other people in your age group. So there's so many things that could tie into CrossFit training and that are there in other aspects or other apps. So here's the main overview. So if you look at what it says here in this verbiage, it says metrics like velocity, power, force, and acceleration, and more. So you think about how you could tie that into a workout tracking and heart rate overlaid on top of it to see when the velocity, power, force, and acceleration compares to spikes in heart rate and how your degradation of your acceleration over time, your inability to move a barbell the same rate. And then the other thing, the second sentence says it can help inform the athlete of their readiness and recovery when you see velocity trends. So those are pretty fundamental things. We'll see a silly little video real quickly. And then okay, so this is just on the Wayne website, just a link to but you could see how it tracks. Okay, and this is the Beyond the Whiteboard app, and I like it because it helps me to see work output. So if you look at, you can see your calendar of workouts over a period of time. I don't log all my workouts because I just am too lazy. But if you take a workout, for example, like this particular one, you view the details, and this was a 2,000 meter buy-in row, and then 3 rounds of power cleans, box jump overs, and thrusters at different weights. But you can see the average power output, so 106.9 foot-pounds per second. So this helps me to see how much workload I carried and the speed at which I carried it for the time period of the workout. So like I did a workout today where I ran 2 miles and then did a workout, and I just was tired, and I was like 38 foot-pounds per second. So I realized I didn't put that much like intensity into the workout I did myself. But I can see this and I can say, okay, well, I usually gauge if I'm moving at 75 foot-pounds per second, that helps me to evaluate like some of the exertion. But you think of these two together, what push could do is it could take this power output and this exertion level and compare it to the cardiovascular strain. You could see this chart of your repetitions, your movements, your speed, and your acceleration coupled with your heart rate in that workout over time, and it could be somewhat revolutionary. So let's talk about Okay, so what does this mean across the board? If you think about that snapshot, so imagine like a screen, and because the Push website doesn't show really good visuals of what the output looks like. I watched some of their videos. It doesn't really clearly show what you could see from a workout evaluation. You'll see like repetitions and power, so like 2 different graphs, like the speed of the repetition and then the power output of the repetition. So, but if I picture like a workout and moving over time, I picture like the culmination of all of it that I had always really wanted or always thought would be ideal in evaluating a CrossFit workout. Because the biggest thing that we're doing is we're putting significant muscular strain on our bodies, not just cardiovascular strain. Now the cardio is important, and I do think, like when I look, so right now I'm doing a training load evaluation of Chorus, Polar, Suunto, and Garmin, and the finals or the final evaluation of all of their training load platforms is coming out in a week or a week and a half. So stay tuned for that. But if you could see the cardio strain follow along with the repetitions themselves, coupled with some sort of muscular strain score. So like your workout, your workload output coupled with the cardio strain. So you got the muscular strain and the cardio strain to evaluate a final strain. It would be so awesome. It would be so perfect. Now, I am not a Whoop fan because, again, you wear it on the wrist, you don't get accurate heart rate, and that is like all the information that it's tracking for your strain score. So you have to wear it on a bicep. Take that, please. And they don't connect to external heart rate monitors, so you can't connect it to a chest strap. So I really think they've got to upgrade and update their heart rate accuracy and or allow it to connect to an external heart rate monitor. But if they could combine all of these things conceptually, it would be revolutionary for tracking the overall intensity of a CrossFit workout. And then really they could couple in all the rest of it, like the recovery, like, oh my God, you moved this, you did this many foot-pounds per second for this long of a period of time. You need to take off 4 days instead of just the cardio strain, saying you were in the 90 to 100% zone for 35 minutes because you did MERV. You need to take off 4 days. And so the Garmin's and the Course of the world, they get those things right, but they don't take into account muscular strain. So this is a big step forward. Whoop does have sort of a public unveiling of some of these concepts on September 8th. At some point, you can check the website. But I'm hoping they get it right in combining these things and at some point update their heart rate sensor because it is faulty. So that is it for Fit Gear Hunter. I just want to talk about this because I think it is fundamentally important and it is a big development, and I'm hoping they get it right and bring it all together. So with that, thanks so much for watching.